That'll be a nice little combination. Some Mandarin GHI, het clown babies. I'll take those all day long. It's a nice one, look at that. That's a textbook lock there, Pablo. You can't get nicer than that. You want to see a textbook? That's textbook. What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here from Muscle Serpents Daily. The sun is setting here in beautiful Cape Coral, Florida. The weather has warmed up again, and it is time to put the olive pythons back outside, as well as the Bredlis. So I'm excited to do that. I want to also take a look at the ball pythons. Today's Friday, so Pablo did a thorough cleaning today, and I want to also go through stuff as we're cleaning and see who's breeding, put some more males and females together, kind of figure some more stuff out. I have not paired up all my snakes yet. I don't know if you guys have, but I still have some young ones that just, I'm not sure who I want to put with who yet. So I'm still figuring it all out. So that's what we're going to be doing today on this Friday here. Figuring out who's going with who. Putting the olive pythons outside and getting everything ready for New Year's, right? I don't do anything on New Year's. I used to go out all the time. Nowadays, I have 3 kids. My kids will probably want to stay up till midnight, but I would go to sleep early if it was up to me at this point. So we'll probably order some food in and just stay in. If you don't have to go out on New Year's, I always tell people stay in your house. First of all, the peacocks are getting ready to go to sleep up in the trees there. Maybe we can see them over there. Yeah, they go up in the trees at night to go to sleep, and I guess they hide from the predators up there. All right, let's go into the snake room without further ado and take a look. That'll be a nice little combination. Some Mandarin GHI, het clown babies. I'll take those all day long. It's a nice one, look at that. That's a textbook lock there, Pablo. You can't get nicer than that. You want to see a textbook? That's textbook. All right, the Bredlis are going back into their outdoor enclosure. I fed them. I think the female ate both of the rats. I fed them. I don't think the male ever got one. I fed them inside. I left them inside an extra day or two just to digest. It's really warm out today, so they're going back in the outdoor enclosure. They got fresh water, and if it gets cold again, too cold, I'll take them in. I don't think it's supposed to get this that cold again here. I mean, it was really cold. It was like, seriously, down into the 30s. It would have been way too cold for these guys. They can handle cold, but like in the 40s, maybe high 40s, 50s, but that not like for freezing temps, you know. The problem is that they'll stay in the heated area, and that's great. But the problem is that when it gets really, really cold, if they leave the heated area, they basically get, and they go down there, say, they'll get frozen. They won't be, not they will freeze, they won't be able to move and get back to the heat. And that's when the problem occurs. I love this little Bredli. She's happy because I did feed her. Actually, she looks like she's going into the shed now. That's the only reason I don't usually like to feed them during breeding. Because if they go into shed, we could miss a really important lock. But these are spring breeders, so these Bredlis are not going to breeding until the spring. So we're still wintering them in the winter, but yeah, I could throw them a meal here and there. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. They have a long breeding season. Oh, she's going up to her hide box. They're so resourceful. They're using the little plank of ladder plank I left them there. She's a big girl, you can see. Look at this. She's got to be 7. No, she's got to be like 8, 9, 10 feet almost. She's very big. Bredlis are much bigger than just carpet pythons, that's for sure. At least the females. My male is kind of on the smaller side. That's a hypo Bredli, pure hypo Bredli, and this is a stonewash female, which is a recessive trait. All right, now I got my big olives back in the enclosure. You can see it's really, this is the time of day around 4 o'clock that they get sun over here. There's no sun in the morning on this side of my building. It's a shame, but there isn't. So their sunlight comes in the late afternoon, and that's fine. They had no sunlight inside, so this is better than nothing. And they're back in here. I don't know if Pablo put fresh water in. We'll probably have to do some fresh water, and hopefully they'll be very happy about that. Now the other pair was the ones with the body, they had rub on their body, and the one had the rub on the mouth. So I'm going to take a look at them. I might leave him in, those guys inside another week until they shed out. so I can assess their body damage and what might have happened. Hopefully they don't have any I gave them a lot of antibiotics for 2 weeks, so they should be good. If there was any infection, hopefully that'll be gone. All right, here's another repeat breeding from last year. We got some really nice babies from this. This is my Ultraviolet, which is my Hypo Super Hurricane Enchi Hurricane, which is my Super Hurricane Enchi Hypo Rainbow, and shed, of course. Every time I want to do this, I'm breeding him to back to his mama, which is a Hypo Enchi Het Rainbow Hurricane. Sorry, so Hypo Enchi Hurricane Het Rainbow. She's wrapping the water bowl. That's a good sign. Usually means she's going into pre-ovulatory behavior. You definitely want to mail in with her now. Very key time period. I think she's just growing follicles right now. It's kind of early. I don't think she's actually ready to ovulate yet, but you never know. You never know. So I put the male in there. I just popped him in there, so right now he's just, he's like, I don't want to be in here. You will be after you shed that skin. You will be, I promise you. All right, we're gonna leave him alone. Hopefully we'll get some action. She's a really high expression hurricane too. This is a beautiful Hypo Hurricane Enchi. And I had produced 2 of these. One was a male, one was a female. I bred them together. That's where I got this guy. This guy bred with her last year. We got a lot of visual ultraviolets. A bunch of them went overseas. We sold them over there, and now we're trying to make some more because you can't have too many of these things. Ultimately, this year might be the first year I actually breed ultraviolet to ultraviolet. We'll see. See if his sister gets old enough. If she gets big enough. I'm gonna really start pumping her with some food. Here's the beautiful sister who's not in shed. Once again, Enchi Hypo Super Hurricane, or Hayabusa, which is the Super Hurricane Rainbow. And she's just on the borderline of 1,200 grams. If I can pump her with a few more meals and get her to eat some medium rats, I think we can make it. If not, she might have to go for next year. She's about 2 years old, so 2.5 years old. So she's not, if you hit a female that's under 3 years, you basically beat the odds. That's what I always tell people. It's possible. You can definitely do it. I've done it many times. But they got to eat. If they're not eating, sufficiently to support the eggs, a lot of times they won't go. Sometimes you'll just get a small clutch. Either way, I might give it a shot this year just to see. I mean, everything would come out rainbow, everything would be hypo, everything would be super hurricane, and then we would try to hit that super enchi, which I don't think we hit yet. So it certainly would make it better, and we'd have a lot, and then we'd have a lot of babies too that are, true ultraviolets that I can actually sell visuals of, which would be nice. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Now this rainbow is a super enchi hypo rainbow. You can see there's not as much purple in this one because there's no hurricane, there's no dark morph in here. And it's funny because she's almost as big as the other one I just showed you, and she's from this past year. She's only a year old. So, she's definitely not ready to go because she's size-wise not quite there. Plus she's age-wise just not there. It's just a year is too young, I think. I'm sure someone has done it before, but she's just not going to make it this year. She'll go next year. She's a really good eater. So, and that's what we like to see. The rainbows all seem to be they start out sometimes a little picky, and then once after that first 2 months or so, they're like off to the races. And they're big. They grow pretty well too once they start eating. You can see this one has a little bit of a red eye too. Kind of cool. I showed you one of my favorite albinos the other day. It was a lesser orange dream albino. This is probably my favorite. This is A+ quality. This is super orange dream albino, no lesser in there. So looks a little different, but really high contrast. The outlines of the orange are really, really beautiful. This was my holdback from that litter, the clutch, I should say. She's just exquisite. One of the nicest albinos I've ever produced. I'd like to get some scaleless head in here, actually. That might be really cool to get that in there. But just because the scaleless head, I think, will make this thing pop even more. because the scaleless head gene, when it, in 2 copies, we know we get a scaleless animal. That's not what I'm necessarily looking for with this girl. I would like to get 1 copy of scaleless head into this, because I think it would make all the pattern pop more and look more three-dimensional. I think that would be really cool. So it's something we could look at. I actually might breed. I have a male that's Orange Dream. No, it's scaleless head Enchi albino, and that might be good because this way we can get the Enchi gene in there as well as well as the scaleless head gene in there. So that might be, why don't we see if we can pair those guys up? I don't know if that male is mature enough, but we're going to check them out right now. I believe this is going to be an Enchi scaleless head albino. I have him listed as just scaleless head albino. You can see the scales missing on his head. That's for sure. And you can see that this is a very Enchi looking, and the mother was Enchi, I think. I would call this Enchi albino scaleless head. Imagine we put this male to that female that is also Super Orange Dream albino. So we could get Enchi, Orange Dream, albino scaleless head. That might be kind of cool looking, right? I think that would work. Or I could put I have a albino hepide, which I don't know if that's going to really do anything. If it was visual, maybe, but I produced albino pieds already. I think I want to just try to create a more high contrast albino. I think that's a cooler project. This guy's missing a lot of scales on his head too. Look at that. So, well, we'll see. I popped him the other day. He's got sperm plugs. They're really small, these guys. This guy and the female's kind of small too. I'll see. I might give him another meal next week and then pop them together. We'll see what happens. Last pairing of the day. This was a sensational one. 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago. This was a hypo 100% het, ultramel 100% het pied female. She proved out. She was pos het when I bought her. I saw the pied markers on her, so I kind of knew she was going to turn out. She did prove out, and being bred to my beautiful Orange Dream ultramel pied het hypo male. So this is the combo that produced my Orange Dream Ultra Glow Pieds, which is the Orange Dream Ultramel Hypo Pied. I produced a female, and then I produced a male that was an Ultramel Pied. And the president is calling me, but I'm not answering. And we're going to try to repeat that because it was such a great pairing, and we got so many great baby snakes out of that. I want to try to do it again. And so this male is going to be breeding with her. I also have the children, or at least the male child of this female who is ready to breed this year too, and I'm going to be breeding him. He's the Ultra Glow Pied to another female, just one. He's kind of small, so I'm just going to try one this year. I don't want to overexert him too much because he is spectacular, and we'll see what happens. So I'm hoping this produces some more beautiful Orange Dream Ultra Glow Pieds. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today here at Palumbo's Pythons and Boas. You see my olive python enclosures in the back. The snakes are nice and nestled in, getting ready for tonight. It's going to be warm tonight. It's not really dropping down really low. I think we might have another little small bout of some cold weather in another week or so, but nothing like we had. So in Florida, you get these like little spurts, a couple days of cold weather, and then that's the whole winter. So that's why I live here. Guys, you don't know what you're missing. If you're living up north and it's cold, get out of there. Make the move. Do it now. Today is the day. Don't wait for the future. You won't do it in the future. If you have the ability to get up and leave. Go where you want. If you like reptiles, Florida, South Florida, man, is the best place to be. And Southwest Florida is still very affordable, so check it out. You can do outdoor enclosures like I have. Couldn't do that in New York, that's for sure. All right, guys, if you love these videos and you like what you're seeing, encourage me. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. Hit that like button. I'll see you back tomorrow morning.